Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to another video. This time I want to look at some lore to do with Final Fantasy XIV. It's been a while since we did a lore video, but predominantly today, the reason for this was I was looking at words, basically. I was thinking about the common tongue that's used in video games, and usually video games associate English to be the common tongue. It's quite synonymous in the West, who typically expect everybody to speak English, and that's across all kinds of pop culture. Many people call it the universal language, so it's interesting to me to see the reasoning when you put down on paper why Eorzean is the way it is, why we can actually understand them in the game, as opposed to it just simply being localization related. So the Encyclopaedia Eorzea Volume 2 has a section called A World of Words. So I thought I'd read this out and share this with you guys, because not everybody has this book, and it is actually some quite interesting reading for sure. Language is a living entity, growing and evolving alongside those who wield it. As such, it is widely believed that only through the study of language might one discover the key to unlock the secrets of civilization. The common tongue. Being home to myriad races and cultures, it is not surprising that Hydaelyn is also home to many and more unique tongues. On the 3 great continents alone, scholars have identified 10 score unique languages, and believe yet others may exist in the land's less travelled corners. The most widely used is Eorzean, by far. But how exactly did this phenomenon come to pass? And then there's a section, The Life and Death of a Language. Most languages spoken today, including Eorzean, can be traced back to an Allegan dialect that dominated the Third Astral Era, a dialect believed by Allegan scholars to have originated with the ancient Hyuran tribes of Aldenard. Both the empire's size and longevity saw the imperial tongue spread wide from Aldenard to Othard, and even to the western continent, over time rendering most other languages in the occupied territories obsolete. However, the coming of the Fourth Umbral Era severed the bonds that held the empire together, forcing large populations into relative isolation. With no simple means of communication over great distances, the Allegan dialect shattered, each shard experiencing an independent evolution, which, over hundreds of generations, saw the rise of countless new languages. By the Fifth Astral Era and the resurgence of civilization, there existed so many unique languages that the abundance gave rise to a new social class of translators and interpreters. Difficulty of communication between cities and nations often resulted in heightened political tensions, and it fell to translators to facilitate communication between the parties. It goes without saying that this skill eventually saw the members of the class wielding dangerously significant monetary and political clout. And then there's a section that says, A Triumphant Return. It was not until the 6th Astral Era when a dialect resembling modern Eorzean returned to Aldenard and took root. Brought back by the very Hyuran tribes from which the dialect had first descended. Despite the Elezen having arrived in the land first, the choice to limit their sphere of influence to the Black Shroud prevented their language from spreading beyond the Great Holt. The Hyur, however, came in waves, settling every corner of Aldenard, including the Black Shroud, and it was only a matter of time before Hyuran converse had permeated the realm. Yet, while the Hyur have always been known for their adaptability, for reasons unknown they proved adamant in their unwillingness to succumb to the prevailing Elezen tongue. Though the Elezen fought to preserve their language against a vulgar tide, the plight was doomed with the arrival of Lalafellan traders from the southern seas. The Lalafels, more interested in coin than pride, quickly recognized that there was profit to be had in learning the language of the Hyur. When the Makote tribes followed suit, it was thus the Hyuran dialect became what we know now as Eorzean. Having secured a strong foothold in Eorzea, the Lalafellan traders set their sights on Ilzabad and beyond, taking with them the simple yet expressive Hyuran dialect that had seen their coffers full to bursting with gil, adding terms they thought necessary for haggling. It was through the efforts of these entrepreneurs that the language slowly spread, taking hold as the accepted parlance for negotiation. Now it is not uncommon to see merchants from as far as Hingashi and Radzat-Han handling their transactions in common Eorzean traders can't. And then there's a section here that says the proliferation of Eorzean throughout Hingashi has sparked somewhat of a cultural renaissance in the once isolated nation. Access to a wealth of printed word carried overseas by Western traders has opened eyes to a new world of quirks and customs, often resulting in a wholly unique amalgamation of ideas that would have proven impossible were it not for the common tongue. How an article on Mughal legend printed in Gridania's The Raven led to the mass production of wooden mole bats throughout the Far East is but one example of the undeniable power of language. And there we go, that was the chapter on A World of Words. They further look into the alphabet next and some other bits, but I thought that was the most important part about it. So basically, what you have to do is you have to blame the world as it currently is in-game on the Lalafels. And to me, that sounds like a great thing to blame. Either way, thank you kindly for watching. Hopefully this was interesting to you. Maybe you don't have the lore books. I will continue to read bits from them because it is quite exciting to read exactly why we have the decisions behind some of the things in-game that we have, even if from a localization standpoint it makes more sense. Thank you kindly for watching, and I'll see you all next time.